What's going on, Sabrina? What's going on, BLGO8? How you doing? How y'all doing? As you guys can see, when y'all see me outside walking, it literally means we got some pleasant weather. We are going to be in the 70s and the 80s all week. And I'm so appreciative for that. But anyway, happy Sunday to y'all. I pray that everything has been going well with you guys. It's been a few days since I've been on YouTube. Hey, Mrs. Etna. It's been a few days since I've been on YouTube. But here I am today. And I wanted to release this word while I was out walking. What I will say, I'm doing pretty good. Listen, I love to hear it, Sabrina. I love to hear it. I love to hear it. Today's supposed to be a rest day. But listen, y'all know how I feel. I always tell God, ain't no way I'm not going to get outside if the weather is pleasant and if the weather is good. So I said I'm going to do a little light 30-minute walk and call it a day. But I wanted to get on here and give you guys this revelation, and I pray that it's not too windy. Give you guys this revelation that God gave me. Today has been Today has been a very peaceful day. It has been a very revelatory day. Honestly, it's been quite a revelatory weekend. Not a bad weekend at all, but it's just been some connect the dot type of pieces. And so I had a moment today where right before I worked out, I've been kind of just tidying up the house and preparing for the week ahead. But as I was going throughout today, I was having so many connect the dots moments. And literally when I walked out the door to go walking, the Lord said, this is a time within this season where many of us are literally letting bygones be bygones. And what he means by that is, this is a time within this season where we are really letting go of the residue of the old season. I'm going to say that again. What he told me was, he said, this is a time within this season. It's not a season, but it's a moment within this season where we're literally letting go of the residue of the old. For some people, it may be, letting go of the residue of when you were broken and not healed, right? Meaning there may be certain relationships, right, that you grew when you were broken, that now that you're not broken anymore, that you've got to let go of. For some people, it may be simply revolving around certain habits. Hey, Miss Jennifer. Certain habits and certain mindsets. It's almost like, I don't know if anybody else has felt this way, but for me, I kind of feel like in this season, I can see the growth in myself. I don't know if anybody else sees that in themselves. It's like I can see the growth in myself, but I can also see certain things that were lingering still, even in the aspect of me grown. I still saw some residue of the old. Now, whether or not it had the same effect on me, it's absolutely not. But God told me, in this season, the things that come up, the things that we have to let go of, it's literally getting rid of the residue of the old you, the broken you, the fearful you, the scared you, the timid you. And there are just certain things, right, that we're letting go of. It can't go into this new thing. And even now I hear the Holy Spirit saying, what God is doing by having us to get rid of the old residue is he's making room for the new. I'm going to say it again. What's happening, right, by us getting rid of the old residue and God bringing certain things back up again, what's happening is God is making room for the new. What a tragedy it would be, what a tragedy it would be for us to enter into the new thing and still have the things of the old in our midst. I think honestly, this is really a blessing in disguise, honestly, because when you have the things of the old really just, I guess, it's kind of like this. I'm going to give you guys an example. It's kind of like people. Let's just say you outgrow people and you know that you've outgrown them. If you continue to let them linger in your life, even though you know that you've outgrown them, one or two things will end up happening. Either you will revert back to your old ways, or it will hinder what you're trying to accomplish. It adds tension. I don't know if y'all have ever had a moment where you know you've outgrown somebody, but because you've known them for so long, you allow for them to stay around, right? And the longer you let them be a part of your life, it's almost like you find yourself arguing with this person. You find yourself butting heads with this person. So it's the same thing when I pray that makes sense. So it's the same thing when we're talking about letting go of the old residue, or the residue from the old season, right? The residue that's still lingering from the old season, from that Job season, from your wilderness. God is simply saying certain things have to go. It has to go. In order for you to receive the new, it has to go. And what God is saying is, if the residue stays around, you know, those two things that I just mentioned has the chance to happen again. Either we will be tempted, right, to go back to our unhealed ways, to go back to our fear-stricken ways, or we'll find ourselves, you know, having or being in these storms. They're not really self-created storms, but these storms, going through circumstances that God never really meant for us to go through. I pray that I am making sense. This weekend has really been that kind of weekend for me. And it took me just, I guess, thinking about it and reflecting on all the different situations that have taken place. And I literally heard God say, this is a time within this season where if you want what I have for you, it entails letting bygones be bygones, because he's making room for the new. He's making room for your blessings, your breakthroughs, the friendships he has for you in this season, the relationships he has for you in this season, the opportunities and everything else that he has for you in this season. But before he can bring that, he has to get the residue out. It's kind of like, think about it from this aspect. You know, sometimes when you cook in a dish, and let's just say you have leftovers, let's just say it is lasagna. I don't really eat lasagna, but it's the only thing that I can think about. Or macaroni and cheese. I don't eat that either. But y'all get what I'm saying. You know, like when you put it in the refrigerator, after a few days, there are certain parts of the macaroni or the cheese that, or the pasta, that will stick to the sides of the card. Give me one if y'all know what I'm talking about. Especially like, let's just say Thanksgiving or Christmas, you had them leftovers, and after about a day or two, you know, don't nobody want the edges, right? Don't nobody want the edges revolve, you know, the edges of the dressing, because it's hard. Don't nobody want the edge of the macaroni, because it ain't got hard, right? And so when it comes time to clean that thing out, right? So even if the macaroni's all gone, you will still have that residue around the sides, right? Around the sides of the dish, your baking dish, whatever you baked it in, whether it's for, whatever the case may be. So think about it from this perspective. If you cleaned that dish, washed it, but you still saw the residue, right? It may not be as much, but you still saw a little bit of the dried up cheese, a little bit of the pasta left on the sides. Is that dish clean? Is it ready to go with the other clean dishes? I pray that it'll make it sense. So I'm gonna ask that question again. If you were washing dishes, right, getting ready to put everything back up, and you still see that it's a little bit of food left on the, in the pan. Is that pan, is it ready to go with the clean dishes? Would you call that dish clean, right? So what you do is, right, if you see that it still has something on it, you're going to put some more soap and you're going to get to scrubbing. You're going to put it through the process again until the residue is clean. And in fact, most people are not going to deem that dish clean until it is sparkling, until you don't see nothing on it. So in a sense, this is where many of us are, right? We've come out of the storm, right? We've made it through a lot. We've grown, we've healed, we've allowed God to deal with our triggers and our traumas. And the Lord is saying, there's just a little bit of residue that's still left, right? And if you leave that residue there, it has the potential to infect the new thing that I'm doing in your life in this season. I'm going to let that sink in. What God is saying is, we are that dish, right? We in a brand new season. We've made it through the worst of the worst, and we're seeing things unfold in this new season. But many of us are that dish that got just a little bit of food on it, a little bit of residue. And what God is saying is, what he's doing by saying, let bygones be bygones, is he's saying, let me get rid of the last little bit of residue so that it doesn't hold up your blessings, so that it doesn't have any effect in a brand new season. And there's one thing about the year of 2023 that I've noticed. And I was telling God this just yesterday. I said, Lord, it's like the year of 2022. It came in with a bang last year, and not a good kind of bang, if you know what I mean. It's like when 2022 hit, all hell broke loose. Give me a one if you get what I'm saying. For many people, it's literally like all hell broke loose. And I said, but Lord, 2023 has had the opposite effect, meaning 2023 popped in, and it's literally like you can sense that it's like night and day from last year. And the Lord is simply saying right now that what he's doing is trying to keep it that way. I'm going to say it again. What he's trying to do is keep it that way. There were decisions that many of us made in our brokenness. There were decisions that the storms of life in previous seasons that it kind of forced us to make. And what God is saying is that this is a brand new season that he does not want tainted. And in this brand new season, he wants to give us all a brand new experience. I'm going to say it again. In this brand new season, he wants to give us all a brand new experience. If I can be real, for a minute, in 2022, 2021, and even parts of 2020, not really 2020, 2019, some of those years, like there were moments sometimes where I literally just thought, God, is it going to get any better? God, I don't know how much longer I can toil. And my perspective on life started to become that, man, is this all that life has to offer? Is it always going to be a struggle? Versus 2023, and literally seeing God show me that life ain't all about struggling. It ain't all about toiling. And so when I've had to make some of the decisions that I've made in this year, I understood what God meant when he was saying, I'm trying to give you a brand new perception of not only just life, but God and himself. So to the person that needs to hear this, what God is saying is, let bygones be bygones. Some of y'all have already seen this play out where you're noticing, man, I got to get rid of this. I got to get rid of that. Listen, it's time for me to break away from this person. It's time for me to break away from this habit. And it's just simply God saying, it's time for a new encounter with him. Point blank, period. And so if this has blessed y'all, can you just simply tell God thank you? I had to get that word out because it was literally like, wow, God. I'm telling you, I just been relaxing and really resting, getting my house in order. And I just sat and thought about everything that's been happening this weekend, the different changes in myself, even noticing the growth and certain decisions that I've had to make recently. And that was the word, that was the revelation that God gave me, because I was having one of those moments where I'm like, God, what is this about? What is this about? And that was what he told me. He's letting bygones be bygones, cleaning up the residue. And so I'm listening. That is the word. To those of y'all that feel led to sow, you absolutely can sow. The ways to sow are in the description right below this video. If you've not already given this video a thumbs up, please give this video a thumbs up if it has blessed you. The seed title for those of you guys that are sowing is Get Rid of the Residue. That is the seed title, Getting Rid of the Residue. And it's just simply a seed into what God is doing within this moment, in this season. And I just want to decree and declare, in this season, you're about to make new decisions, right? You're about to experience something that you've never experienced before. Don't fight the shift. Shift with it. And so listen, man, that is it. To those of you guys that don't follow us yet on TikTok, the name is in the bio, Thoughts by T. If you want to book a session, purchase a t-shirt. If you want to bless the ministry with through the Amazon wish list, the description is below. The link is in the description below this video. Right now, the only thing that we will need coming up is just a computer chair, not the desk. We got the desk, and so the next thing on our list is the actual computer chair. And so office chair, not computer chair, office chair. And so that link is there for those of you guys that want to be a blessing that way. If you want to sow via PayPal or Cash App, those links are there. But listen, y'all, I love y'all. I am rooting for you guys. And so until next time, y'all, peace.